never mind. Domination. Oh, I see. Guys, yeah, it's going up. Corner piece. Oh my god, that guy's hell. Right behind you, in your back, in your back, in your back. I'm going in there right now.
Got you.
Fuck no. Don't let him heal! Hey, you are some kind of stupid. Wow, I'm just gonna watch that man heal. He's around this corner right here.
Oh, he's right in the corner. I got him. Get back. Get up. Heal up. He's trying to go to our base again.
Alright. Help this dude catch.
Come on, A. Got a bombardier drone.
Oh my god.
Down.
I can't shoot him. There's two there, because they catch that real quick. Where you at?
Agent down.
Pushing.
Serious trauma detected. Agent about to come on. Vital signs critical.
Hey YouTube, Be Righteous back again from Identity with another Division 2 video. First of all, I want to thank you all for the support. It's greatly appreciated. Also, comment down below and let me know how you're enjoying TU6 so far. In this video, I want to show you a build that I put a lot of effort into, and I have to say it's like no other. That's what this channel is about, creating unconventional content that focuses on all aspects of the game. And if you're interested in this type of content, then please drop a like and hit the subscribe button to stay up to date with everything I bring. With the advent of all the Berserk builds as of late, one of them emerges from the ashes never before seen in Division's history. I call it the Unrelenting. This means not yielding in strength, severity, or determination. By default, this build cuts out an entire category of threat, status effects, an area in which some players base their whole build off of, which means this is a complete counter to any skill build. But wait, hold up. I know what you're thinking. Righteous, that's a tall claim. I feel you, but I'm not saying this merely for the 100% hazard protection this build comes with, but other elements that are involved as well. I'll explain everything to you in the upcoming build description. So ponder on this for a bit. While in combat, you can focus on just one goal, which is getting the job done without any distraction from the fire slowing you down or wondering if that last bleed tick will end you, but instead being an instrument of fear that other players will remember. This build allows you to be an aggressor and has many survival elements to it. The fact that it also has 25% protection from elites makes it a great raid option, being that the developers spoke of the raid as having lots of status effects. I've never made a build quite like this, and I'm very excited to share it with all of you. This build is proof that the Division 2 Title Update 6 brought with it a vast array of playstyles and so many more to come in the future. So without further ado, let's get into this build description. Alright, so let's get into this. First off, I use the Survivalist specialization. This specialization is best for survival, basically. The weapons I use are the Invisible Hand and the Chatterbox. I didn't think I was going to like this Invisible Hand as much as I do, but with the perfect Allegro 15% rate of fire, you can't go wrong. I added Measured. It had some other talent I can't remember, but I added Measured to this, where the top half of the magazine does 20% rate of fire. So normally, when you start firing this, you're doing 35% extra rate of fire. And then once I reload after a kill, the Chatterbox gives me another 15% rate of fire, totaling 50%, which is very good. And the damage for both of these is at 20k, which I was surprised about because the Chatterbox is an SMG, and SMGs don't really roll with as much damage as assault rifles. So I was pretty, stoked about this. All I needed on a pistol was protected reload. I'm gonna be doing a lot of reloading in this, so you don't really need anything but that. For the build, this combination of talents is probably the most I've ever seen in a build, and they all work together in a way that is just beautiful. This mask I got in DZ, and it exclusively drops in a DZ. It's a named item called the Hollow Man, and it gives you 50% hazard protection. It's called Perfectly Insulated. And this mask already for one piece has 10% hazard protection, so you're getting 60% hazard protection by just having this mask on. I didn't even need to roll 47% hazard protection, but I just did it just to do it because it just looks good. So you put this mask on with any build, you're gonna have 100% hazard protection. But the thing is that you got to get it first. It's in a DZ. Get out there and farm for that mask, and hopefully you grab it. So I think having hazard protection in general is like a huge thing in this game. I mean, there's so many times where I was so close to killing somebody, but I got caught on fire, or I was so close to deploying a skill to do something else, and then I was disrupted. So this right here allows you to be focused on one thing, and you could just run with it. You could just do what you got to do. You don't got to worry about anything else but getting to your target. This chest piece, Fenris chest piece, is the way to go. It's a strict vest, combat vest. It has a rainbow roll, skill power, health, and weapon damage. And make sure you try and find one that has as high as health as you can and as high as weapon damage as you can, because you want this build to do everything. I mean, this build is versatile enough as it is, but if you can get your stats high, then you could become one of the most efficient PvPers, PvEers, whatever. It just feels so good running this, knowing that you can get the job done. I have Berserk and Vital. Now Vital is now 25% health, which is good because instead of stacking 2 Vitals on my chest piece in my backpack, I could put Harden on my backpack, so you got the best of both worlds. And oh yeah, I meant to tell you, this is one of the best parts of the build. I'm rocking 300k armor and 200k health. Now, most builds out there, most Berserk builds have about 180k armor or 200k armor and 220 health or 230 health, whatever. That's what they run, because you can't have more than 4 blues in order to run clutch. But see, this isn't a clutch build. This is a straight up all around survival build that covers so many bases that you just feel confident when you get on the battlefield. And I have a 2-piece Fenris, and the 2-piece Fenris gives you protection from elites. The protection from elites that you get from the survivalist specialization is 15%, totaling 25% in all. Now, I think I got some defensive, I got some defensive slots, so you can add more protection from elites. Sometimes they have mods that roll with 4% protection from elite, or 5 even. So if you have 2 of those, then you get another 10% and rock 35% protection from elites. It's up to you, but I prefer total armor, and usually ones with total armor don't have protection from elites. But the holster I got also a high health roll. You want to make sure you got as much health as you can. And if you didn't know already, Bloodlust has been changed, and I didn't know until a couple days ago. Weapon swapping grants 15% weapon damage for 5 seconds. This buff is lost for 5 seconds if you weapon swap while it's active, but before it used to be that weapon swapping after a kill gives you 15% weapon damage, but all you have to do is switch your weapon and you get 15% weapon damage. That's nuts. So check it. You could run this. You know what? I'm not even gonna go there. I'm gonna stay on this build. We'll talk about that later. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I got on the holster. Backpack, Gila Guard, triple blue. You know, I always say I don't really need weapon damage on my backpack, so I tend to focus on more armor on my backpack. I had this backpack for a while. It has hardened and efficient. And efficient is the perfect talent that you want with this build, because being like a survival type build, I like to play skirmish when I don't have a team in the DZ. And in skirmish, they only give you 2 armor kits. Sometimes I use 2 armor kits and I still have 2. So efficient is really good. I mean, I really love this talent for this build. And this is how you get these type of stats. You know, you got to have armor and health on both the chest piece and the backpack. And with these kind of stats, you have like a combination of tankiness and survivability, but that's not all. I was able to get these gloves called Firm Handshake. They're Sokolov Concern, they're a named item, and they have 4 different type of weapon damage: SMG damage, assault rifle damage, and LMG damage. And I was surprised because usually when the gear has a lot of stats like this, you're not able to roll that much of another thing on it, but they allow me to roll 11% assault rifle damage, and I was actually surprised. This right here comes with Perfectly Wicked. When you apply a status effect, gain 20% weapon damage for 20 seconds. You might be wondering why I have Wicked and why I didn't just do like a clutch build. I'm about to tell you why. Murakami, you want Murakami because Murakami gives you 8% health. It's going to help you reach that 200k health that you need. And I was just hoping I can get a little bit more than 10% because I have a pet peeve. This says 299k armor. I wanted to say 300 so bad. And I don't have any mods that'll just put me up and over that hump, but it's 300k. So the reason why I have Wicked on the gloves is because I have Cloak. And I remember in my last video, I said I'm a sucker for skill power. I need skill power in my build. It just has so many advantages to it. And I have low skill power, 300 here, 900 there. And because of the survivalist specialization, I'm able to do something with the Seeker Mind. But this talent, Cloaked, gives you the ability to have a skill by default without using it. When you're face tanking somebody and your armor gets depleted, I said this in my last video. I said there are mostly berserk builds out there that run the defender drone, and I want to try and use a disruptor pulse and just throw off their whole strategy. So if I'm using this and I'm face taking somebody, once my armor gets depleted, it disrupts them. The defender drone is gone, whatever they're using is gone. At the same time, I'm gaining 20% weapon damage. And if you really want to be a nuisance, go ahead and throw one of them status effect talents on your gun, like Sadist or Ignited, whatever your preference is. And if they just happen to be bleeding or happen to be on fire, then you're going to be doing another 30% damage on top of this 20. It's crazy, man. All of these talents working all together, it's just, this build is just crazy. I mean, I was surprised to see how much of this stuff works. The skills that I use are the Mender Seeker Mind, and because of the survivalist specialization, I'm able to have 2 free talents: skill haste and healing. And this Mender Mind, even if you have a small amount of healing, like 50%, it heals you really good. And I think the healing consistency was fixed. It heals you more consistent now. Before, it would just sit there and not heal you. I didn't know what was wrong with it, but I've noticed that now this thing consistently heals you, which makes it way more reliable. Cooldown is 33 seconds, but if you destroy it early, it gives you like a 15-second cooldown. And I just wanted extra healing on here. So I got the Chem Launcher on here. I don't have any mods that will work, so I just use the default one for a little bit of extra healing. It helps. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, this cloak, this is why I said earlier that this was a complete counter to skill builds. Because first of all, none of the skills, status effects hurt you at all. And those are the main things that are strongest on skill builds. You know, mostly the status effects. Sometimes, you know, you can get hit by something really strong that will kill you, but the status effects are what eventually kill you in the end. And if you're fighting somebody that has a skill build and your armor gets depleted and they don't have anything but 2 skills, and you disrupt them and then destroy their skills, it's a wrap. It's a wrap for them. You know, I don't really see a skill builder beating this build. And with this build also going against all the other like DPS build is a formidable force. I mean, you could just run through and do what you gotta do. You don't have to worry about much. And you don't have to use the invisible hand. This is just my preference. This invisible hand feels really nice. I used it with the Eagle Bearer, and I got some really good clips of me you know, holding down a manhunt in front of a checkpoint with just one other person, and I was just face taking everybody. I was using it with an AK, which was very strong. I used it with an SMG. The chatterbox is strong. So whatever weapon you want to use is up to you. That's why this is so good. It gives you 4 different weapon types that you could use with these gloves. But yeah, that's it. I mean, this build right here is complete. It takes a little bit more farming and a little bit more preparation than the standard builds, but once you get it right, you can't go wrong with this. And that's it for the build. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know if you like it, and definitely try it out. If you enjoyed this content, please drop a like and hit the subscribe button, and I will definitely see you in the next video. Be right out.